Joining us now from Senate Judiciary, Senator Marsha Blackburn. It's so great to have you back on, Senator. What was your reaction when you heard the story? The campaign was also accused of funding the ransacking of data out of computers in Trump's apartment building in New York City to tie Trump to Russia.
Liz, I tell you, it shows how desperate they were to win this election. And they knew they couldn't win it on their own. And then they were furious when they lost. So they decided they had to cook up this plot and then find something to go at Trump to ruin his presidency. And I think it's so significant to point out the Trump campaign was run out of Trump Tower. And then the transition was run there. So those of us like me, people like me that worked on the campaign, that vice chaired the transition, what of our data did they hack? Did they gather? Did they hold? Where is that data now? Who has this? And I think those are some of the questions that, as you see General Durham working through this investigation, he now has a chain of events. He has this alleged spying. It is still at this point. But the connections between Michael Sussmann, Mark Elias, Jake Sullivan, the people on the Hillary campaign, Clinton herself, the tech company, and now the tech executive who has been named. All of that is laid out, and now it will be a matter of piecing some of these together and finding out exactly how extensive this was during the campaign of Trump Tower, Trump's apartment, and also when you look at what happened in the White House.
Yeah, and a health company, too, possibly
yes.
Spectrum Health hacked.
Right.
You know, lawyers for the computer researchers, Rodney Jaffe, said he legally provided access to this computer data obtained from a private client working on computers at the White House. So a federal contract makes it okay for a Democrat political campaign to exploit that to knock out a rival Trump. You know, you mentioned Biden's NSA, Jake Sullivan. He went on camera saying, yeah, we think we've established a Trump Alpha Bank, Russia Alpha Bank connection. Let's watch this. Watch.
What we learned during the campaign was that very serious computer science experts, people who work closely with the United States government, had uncovered this secret hotline between the Alpha Bank, the Russian bank, and the Trump organization. Now, of course, we didn't know for sure if, in fact, that were the case, but we knew that it should be investigated. And we knew that given how serious these computer scientists were, they weren't just making up crackpot theories. I don't have a line into the FBI on this, but what I know based on public reporting is that there is very unusual server activity between this Russian bank and the Trump organization, which suggests contact that took place over the course of the campaign.
Okay, a couple things here. Sullivan emphatically then, a few months later, denies to Congress in December 2017 that he knew anything about this. That this Hillary campaign worked. He called this, quote, absurd. Watch what he denied. He denied that he or any members of Hillary's campaign was working to, quote, procure fake Russian information to harm Trump. He denied fake information. That's his non-denial denial, right? So then you have Hillary making like she's oblivious to all this, what her campaign funded, retweeting these fake allegations about Trump and associates using rare Russia phones and connecting to overseas or maybe Russian IP addresses. The whole thing just smacks of absurdity. And for the media not to report it, just take out the names Trump and Clinton. Is it okay to ransack White House computers or the computers of a private, apartment building to go after a political opponent, to get the FBI to CIA to wipe them out?
Well, and none of that is okay. And they know this. But they know now that John Durham has figured out what they did, and he knows what the chain of events were that led to this. And that is where we're going to see how involved was Hillary Clinton, or was Bill Clinton, or Mark Elias. We know that Michael Sussmann is indicted on lying to the FBI. We know that they knew this information that they were giving was not accurate information. It appears that Jake Sullivan was intertwined in this, knowing what had actually transpired and that this was inaccurate information. So this is never okay. Not for a Democrat, an independent, a Republican. It is not okay for anybody.
Let's watch former DNI Ratcliffe lay out what charges could be at stake. He gave 1,000 pages of documents to the Durham team. Watch this.
Anyone that was aware that this campaign plan was going to be falsely pitched to the FBI or the CIA or law enforcement or intelligence authorities would be subject to criminal prosecution for any number of criminal crimes. And based on more intelligence that has not yet been declassified, I would expect there to be, frankly, quite a few more indictments. I think this conspiracy, and I do think there was a criminal conspiracy, is broad and deep.
Senator, I'm so sorry. You got 10 seconds. We're running out of time.
He is exactly right. We do think it is broad. We do think it's deep. People want answers and somebody to be held accountable.
Got it. Thank you, Senator Marsha Blackburn.
Thank you.
Come back soon.